Welcome to another episode of Necro-Fiends of the Frozen Dead. I am your host, Sydnee A. I'm the author of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go. And I am here to celebrate 25 years of Necro-Fiends of the Frozen Dead and have fun talking with friends and fans of Johnny Necro. Today, I am super excited to welcome Bill D. Russell, and I cannot wait to see what he has to tell us. Welcome.
I'm here.
Yes.
I've just been sitting here nonchalantly waiting for you.
Well, I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm a busy man. Come on.
Very busy.
Wait,
very.
Let me secure my tripod so I can pound the table. I'm a busy man.
Well, I appreciate you penciling us in today. It is awesome to meet you, and thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
Of course.
I'm glad the power's staying on for us this time.
Yes, well,
that's a big plus.
Crossing fingers, eyes, and everything else that the power.
Yeah, definitely got my eyes crossed. That's for sure.
Well, the first thing that I like to ask people is, how do you know Johnny? Like, if you could just give me a little background of how you met Johnny Logan Harley.
I met Johnny through social media. Just that we're sort of part of the same horror-related groups, and he was aware of what I was doing, and I think he probably reached out to me first and said, "Hey, let's connect and talk." And then he did some artwork for me. He did a Dr. Death design that was really nice, and we just sort of developed a friendship from there. So
that is awesome. I love his artwork, not only in the book, but like there's a horror adorable of Dr. Death that I think
Dr. Death horror adorable.
Awesome. So let us know your connection with Puppet Master Dr. Death. Like, how are you included in that franchise?
I played the character Maximilian Kuda in the movie. At the beginning of the movie, I die in a rest home, and it turns out I have been the keeper of the Dr. Death puppet. And when they're going through my belongings after my death, they find Dr. Death, and he wreaks havoc. But that's my bit in the movie, and then that sort of, it's a long story, but now I am doing like a live action Dr. Death performance where I dress up as. It's no longer Puppet Master Dr. Death, but I say it's inspired by.
Excellent.
If Max Kuda somehow transmogrified with Dr. Death puppet, it would be what I'm doing.
It would look like this.
It would look like that, yes.
Yes. I love that you're getting searched on your way into.
Yes, I was trying to get into Flashback Week, and they said, sir, we have to make sure you look dangerous.
We have to make sure that blood is fake.
I think I told you this story the last time we talked. I had to talk him into taking that picture. He kept saying, no, you're good, just go. And I said, no, frisk me, please. I want to take a picture.
Yes, please. It's for content.
Yes, exactly. That should be on a t-shirt. It's for content.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I did see Puppet Master Dr. Death. I loved it. And I told you the last time we talked, the puppet's adorable. He's a psycho killer, but he's so cute.
He is. And I'm kind of surprised. Life size seems to have that same effect on people. Even though I don't look quite, like the face isn't the same, but the overall appearance, I've pretty much copied that. And even people who have no idea what Puppet Master movies are see Dr. Death and are drawn. I had people say, oh, I need to get a picture with you. And I'd say, oh, you know the movie? No, what movie? Puppet Master Dr. Death. What's Puppet? What is that?
Right.
They just they thought I was brilliant. So I'd let them believe that I was brilliant and came up with this character on my own. Without
that's also great.
Inspiration at all. So yeah, that was.
It really does have something about it draws you to the character.
Yeah.
And it's great promotion for the movie. And speaking of promotion, anybody that is watching, you need to follow Bill on his social media. It is scrolling along the bottom down there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So check out all of the content in all of those places for sure.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And you also do another character in addition to the rogue Dr. Death, right? Which is more of a seasonal character.
Oh, yes, a Derogue adjacent.
Yes.
I'm so focused because we'll talk about this in a minute. We're going to be doing a big Dr. Death event in Gardena, California, in about a month. So I'm kind of like laser focused on that right now. But I also
Understandable.
I do a Santa Claus.
And there he is.
And it's, I don't try to, I don't try to really pretend I'm Santa Claus. He's smart ass Santa Claus.
I love that.
Just like
That is
Dr. Death. Dr. Death kind of turned into sort of a, not Don Rickles necessarily. If you know um, Andy Kaufman's character Tony Clifton. I don't know
okay.
if you're familiar. He was a sort of, he had a sort of an old New York comic act. He's looking and saying, "You got a physical examination yet? No? Well, I can examine you right here. Turn around, bend over, take down your pants." So
I love that.
That's who Dr. Death is. And I didn't know that was going to happen until I did this.
Oh, there.
I looked in the mirror and went, "Oh my God, that's Dr. Death."
That is awesome.
And it's
Because
like
it's
all of a
almost
sudden,
like a Skeletor and Tony
the
Kaufman.
character just came out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So
I definitely hear Skeletor in there too when you have the mask
Kinda,
on,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
till next time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a few influences.
That is awesome. I love that you brought them all together for your own version of him. That is
Well,
awesome.
I have a background. I have this is tell you how old I am. Over 40 years experience as an improvisational and sketch actor and comedian in Chicago. I performed at Second City Theater and
That's awesome.
IO Theater, which used to be Improv Olympic, the Comedy Shrine, which was a big comedy club out in the western suburbs. So I have that experience that I bring to this performance. So it's like he's an actor in the movie, but he's also this weirdo actor performer guy who does his homage to Dr. Death, kind of, sort of.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you how you started off in acting. Like, was that something you always wanted to do, or is it you started in comedy?
Because I grew up as a misfit and sought attention through humor. I mean, it's like the typical path.
Right. Well, I was going to say
Might as
that's
well,
why we are talking now.
If your kid is he doesn't really fit in with the other kids, expect them to become an actor or a comedian.
That makes sense, actually.
Good chance it's gonna happen.
I absolutely love drama club and show choir and performing, so I get that.
Yeah, but I grew up loving movies, not just horror movies, but that as well. I was a faithful reader of famous Monsters of the Filmland magazine and different things like that. And you couldn't just watch a movie on demand like you can now. Right. Back in the day, we would get off of our horse-drawn carriage and go into the house and turn on the television.
Put the squirrel in the thing to make the electric.
We only got three channels, and they all showed the same program. that actually is true.
Oh yeah, I grew up in the 3 channels, but then when you had the special antenna for 48 and 29.
Oh, the UHF station. Wow.
Yes, yeah,
because that's that fancy.
We had Creature double feature, and send your little brother over to move the rabbit ears. I remember. That's funny. But it's cool.
Did you hear about the wedding between 2 antennas?
No.
The wedding didn't go well, but they said the reception was amazing. I'm sorry, that was just there. It was.
I know you. Please always tell me any dad joke that strikes you. I am the mom of dad jokes.
There. Oh,
yeah. Don't ever hold back a dad joke.
Off a spigot now.
Yes.
Turn down the faucet.
That is awesome. So, what was your first movie that you started?
That you mean as an actor?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? Evil Lurks, probably, as far as current. I did a I did a feature film for a Columbia College grad student project back in the mid '90s, but it's not like it's available anywhere. I have a copy on VHS. Thank you very
I was
much,
just
but
going to say that sounds like a
yes,
VHS
until I
situation.
until I have it transferred to DVD. Um, so Evil Lurks is of what's current. Yeah,
I
would be the
loved
first
that
one,
too.
and it was interesting because Evil Lurks came out about the same time that Dr. Death did, but Dr. Death, we shot that in July, and
Oh
it was
wow.
streaming by October.
Oh my
Evil
gosh.
Lurks took close to 5 years between filming and when we finally had it ready to show.
Wow. And is that because of the
So
behind the
they ended
scenes
up
people?
coming out like about the same time.
Right. Is it just the difference in studios, or was there like a problem that
Well,
they
yeah,
had to?
Evil Lurks was an indie project, and I don't know if anybody involved had really tackled a feature before, um, but but there's you have to supply your own budget, whereas Full Moon Features has a budget. They don't waste it on their actors, but they've got enough money to make a film and get it. I mean, they've got the machinery, they've got the assembly line, the
Right.
factory,
Gotcha.
which an indie film, when you're not real experienced, you're kind of doing it as you go along.
Right. Right. That's what
Whereas
I
here,
like to say.
they I mean, that's literally a grindhouse. They churn them out.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's, with some of my projects, I say I'm building the plane as I'm flying it. And that's,
Right? Yeah, that's
yeah. That's like this show, I just come on and talk to people, and
yeah.
I have
I
so
love
much
that.
fun doing it. Yes, absolutely. I did see Evil Lurks and I loved it. And your character had, I don't want to ruin it, but there was one line I cackled. Like when you said it, I thought it was so funny. So
Is it at the end?
yes.
Okay, I know the one you're talking about.
Yes.
And I'm proud to say that was not in the script. I was like, I know this sounds so obvious, maybe, but can we try it and
It
see
was
if it works?
hilarious. Yeah, it did work.
And yeah, it worked. So
Awesome. Well, speaking of indie films, and they can edit this out if I'm not allowed to say it yet, you and I are going to be in the same indie film.
wait, don't talk
First,
about that. No, I'm kidding.
well, you're my
Yeah,
brother.
let's talk about that. You probably know more about it than I do.
You're my brother-in-law.
Right, that I know. That I
Yeah. Okay.
know.
I didn't know if you knew who that. I have no idea what you say or what you do. I just know that we're in a movie together, and I think that's fantastic.
It is fantastic. I look
Yes.
forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I got to make my first gallon of fake blood and pour it all over myself, and eat it and spit it. Yeah. Dawn dish soap is not
And
tasty.
eat it and spit it. I
Yeah.
wasn't prepared for that part.
Yes. Yes.
Fake blood, I'm not thinking, but yeah, I'm like, that's not edible. But yeah, if you make it yourself,
Yes. Yeah.
you
Well, you just
use
have to
like,
let it,
yeah, corn syrup and food coloring, or
which was
what did you
really
use?
funny. It was, yeah, it's corn syrup, food coloring, and Dawn dish soap. So it didn't stain anything, which was fantastic. But I stopped eating sweets and sugar. How old's my daughter? 17 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So that night, I was like, blah, blah,
I
blah,
stopped
like
eating sweets and sugar 2 minutes before I came on here.
you can have them for me. It's okay. But I had the corn syrup, and it didn't occur to me until that night. I was buzzing, and I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Like, oh
oh,
my
I
God, I just
bet.
had
Oh
straight
my gosh.
sugar.
Wow. Yeah, if your body's not used to it, yeah.
It was so funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, I cannot wait to see the finished project of that. So, that'll be awesome.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And I also have your link tree here that people can check out all of the
Check
links.
it out.
I encourage everyone. I was shocked that Bill has an OnlyFans.
I
And
was
when
going
you
to ask if you got around to that.
and when you click on it, you will be shocked. That's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm
All you
going to say.
need to
Because
know.
I had to click on it.
Well,
I had
yeah.
to see.
And it's
But
not very often that I hear anybody say that they did. But it's like, so I really like, and I kind of like that it's that way. That
yes.
it's like so random, and like, what's the likelihood that anybody's going to actually do that?
I was like, ooh, what's this about? And then I was shocked, everybody. That's all I'm going to say. Shocked. But I was checking out
Thanks
your,
for putting that out there.
of course. Well, you put it
Make
out
sure
there,
go check
sir.
out my OnlyFans link button
Yes.
in
Yes, it
my
is
link tree.
in the link tree. Yes. But the IMDb is in there too. So I was
It
scanning through
is. It
that
is.
and I came across How I Became a Giant Lesbian.
Right?
And I'm intrigued about that movie.
I
It says you
bet
played
you
the
are.
dad.
No, that's one of those, and unfortunately this happens. Like I was talking about Evil Lurks, I honestly had gotten to the point where I thought this film is never going to actually see the light of day because it happens. And that's what happened with this one. It's such a bizarre title, but the filmmaker, it was a true story. She grew up gay, but in a family and in a community where she didn't feel comfortable being able to come out. Um, then she went away to college, and she was talking to another woman, and the woman said something about her being gay, and she said, "Well, wait a minute. How do you know I'm a lesbian?" And the girl
Right.
said, "Oh, come on, you're a giant lesbian."
I love that.
And she said that it gave her permission to be herself. So the scene that we do where I'm her dad is the first time she comes home from Thanksgiving. Well, we take her to college, and she's our little girl. We take her to college and drop her off. Then she comes home for Thanksgiving, and she brings her girlfriend with her, and
Right.
she's dressed kind of butch. Um,
Gotcha.
and Dad's like, okay, okay,
There you go.
okay.
Yep. Pass the
So
turkey.
I was so excited, and I was like, "This is such a fun project, and so different from what I normally do, and it actually has a message, you know." And I a while back, I messaged Sierra, the filmmaker, and I said, "Just, what's the status?" Excuse me.
Mhm.
The So the rest of the movie is about how she meets someone at college, this girl she brings home, and they end up together. And so
Okay.
that's what the whole movie is about, is this journey to her meeting this woman and them being together. Shortly after they finished filming, they broke up.
Oh no.
Yeah. And Sierra just like, I can't I can't finish this.
No. That's a shame because it sounds like it's a great love story, like coming of
It's
age, figuring out yourself
Well, all
story.
of it. Yeah. Yeah. It was just like, yeah, it was just because, and I know for the reputation of like doing horror movies and comedy and what, I like being able to do something that has some sort of a message to it. And another film that hopefully is going to start streaming soon, something I did called Black Ice: The Rhythm,
Okay.
which is uh, based kind of sort of on true events in Detroit in the '70s, when there was an effort in an under like a black community that was
Like
not
underprivileged.
underprivileged. Thank you. Um,
Okay.
and they say, they want to take a recreational center and um, make it a hockey rink for black kids to play hockey. Um, I play the city developer who wants the property to be sold to developers so that we can make some money, and I justify that with, oh, come on, everybody knows black kids don't play hockey.
Right.
Uh, so of course that's not what happens. I'm not in the coming attractions, but I've seen the trailer and it looks so good. It's about this guy who comes in, and he organizes a ragtag uh, team of African American youth, and uh, in the title, the rhythm refers to, um, they look at how popular in the African American community roller skating and roller dancing was in the '70s, like
Yes.
roller boogie. And they said, look, these people, they have this rhythm. If we can learn that rhythm and replicate it on the ice, we
Yeah,
have an advantage the white kids don't have.
that's
And
very
that's
true.
what they do. Um, and it had a limited theatrical release when it in May, but mostly theaters in the Detroit area and a few others. But I just talked to the producer recently because I like when I can represent the old white conservative patriarchy. Let me be the bad guy and you make fun of me, because if that's what I can do as an old white guy to help
Oh,
make up for what the other old white guys did.
I love that.
I'm willing to step into that position. But I've got a couple of really nice scenes in that, and like I said, just so unlike the other things that people are aware of me doing. So I'm really eager for it to
That
become available.
yeah, I definitely want to watch that when it comes
Black
out.
Ice, the rhythm, coming soon. We hope.
Yes.
We
Also,
hope.
because I was watching, speaking of you and sports movies, I was watching You're Out today.
Ah,
And I have not yet finished it because today was one of those days where I had a plan and the universe went. So I didn't get through the whole movie
really? You had
yet.
one of those days? Because that's pretty much like every day.
Oh yeah, well, I'll tell you after this about my day. But so I've gotten to a little over half, and I'm really loving like your character. Again, you get the best lines, like the insults that you say and stuff are
Isn't
just
that
like
amazing? I was like, it's like, you just keep giving me characters that have built-in catchphrases.
right, exactly. That's so funny. But yeah, and again, like I don't want to give anything away, but I absolutely encourage people to watch this movie because it was like what I've seen so far is hilarious, and it kind of reminds me of like a lot of the more mainstream like Vince Vaughn kind, like those
Well,
kind of
it's yeah, and it's definitely, for anybody watching this, it is not a horror movie in any way, shape, or
no,
fashion, but
no,
it's very much like a Vince Vaughn or that kind of a comedy.
yeah,
Um, it just We don't have any big name actors, so it's been difficult generating momentum for it.
right, right. Well, I'm
And I
definitely
keep
going to
I
post
keep
about
trying to
it.
pitch, because there's that whole rescue dog. There's several like message plot threads going through it, and one of them is about a rescue dog. The co-writer Sandy Delisle works at a rescue, and has for a long time. Works for a rescue agency in Chicago. So she
Okay.
wrote that. She wrote that into the story.
Yes, well, the dog at Matterhorn is adorable. Like I
Matterhorn.
would
That's
adopt
exactly
her in
right.
a heartbeat. So, I would adopt all the animals. So my husband has to veto me all the time, or we'd live on a farm because I want
Right.
them all.
Did you see the scene where they're at the hotel, and he's looking at his phone and showing the dog picture of his daughter, and he's talking to the dog, and the dog's kind of like creeping up onto the bed,
Yes,
and it's like
yes,
I was so amazed at that scene. Just so nice. The performance by the dog, I thought, was amazing.
she was wonderful. Yeah,
And
because
I
the
know that means
background,
that it's the dog's, human, that
right,
is
right. But
partly responsible for that. And I feel bad that I cannot think of the guy's name.
what's that? The actor,
The
the
no, the
the
person
trainer.
who the train yeah, the dog's trainer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she was really good. But for the people that haven't seen it yet, the idea was that the one guy hates dogs, so of course she's gonna like
Yes. And
make her way
do you
into
know why
his
he
heart.
hates dogs? Have you gotten to that part
I
yet?
saw that part. Yeah, I saw all of that part.
Did you want to mention that at all, or no? No, we're
It's
not going to
it's
mention
up
that
to
on the
you if we
show.
don't want to ruin. We can talk about it.
Yes,
This
let's
show is
not
for
ruin the surprise.
18
No, let's
plus.
not ruin the surprise.
It was a surprise.
I didn't know that was in. So I'm watching it for the first time we screened it at the rap party. Uh, well, we because of pandemic, we didn't have a rap party. Normally would happen when you rap, but we didn't have it until like almost 2 years later, a year and a half later.
Oh
So
wow.
that's when we screened it. Um, but I was like, oh my God, they went there.
I was not expecting that.
All
I
righty.
will
That's
I
something
will
I've not seen before.
Yeah, there were a couple scenes that I just was not expecting.
Yeah, there's a couple of them you go, okay. Oh.
Yeah, I'm still like curious about the sorority house situation.
Right?
I was like, she's a little old to be a student, but it's a fun movie though, and it's on. You can stream it on Amazon Prime or on Tubi. So I encourage that you check. Tubi.
It's also available on DVD and Blu-ray, and if you want to sign a Blu-ray, you can get one from me.
Awesome. Is that link in your link tree, or should they reach out?
I don't think it is, but just DM me, and if you're interested, and say, let me know you want to get a copy of it. Same with Puppet Master Dr. Death. I have copies available on Blu-ray if somebody wants a signed copy. No, I mean I take them with me to conventions, but
awesome. Will you have them with you in Gardena, California?
I definitely will. Absolutely.
Right, because there will be a screening of Puppet Master Dr. Death on November 2nd in Gardena Cinema, which is in Gardena, correct. California, correct?
Yes, that's what yes, correct. I alluded to it briefly earlier, but yeah, we're taking over the Gardena Cinema, which is an old school Southern, it's the outskirts of Hollywood. Gardena is, and since 1946, it's I think the oldest still operating single screen. It's even older than Grauman's Chinese, which is better known in Los Angeles. It's a single screen theater that seats 800. And it's what I call a revival house or an art house. They primarily show old movies, and they're anything from classic films, like what you'd see on Turner Classics, to they had a trauma festival not long ago. They awesome. Run the gamut. They've shown Russ Meyer's films and what I call psychotronic fare. So it's just this real nice, fun little theater. And yeah, we approached them and they said, yeah, come show the movie. But it's like it's turning into something more because people keep hearing about it and go, oh, can we get involved? Can we do this? So it's almost becoming more like
a little festival,
a bigger yeah, yes, almost. I already know there are going to be some vendors there. Squaredy cats. These are this guy makes square plush cats based on horror movie characters.
That is so cute and so specific.
Squaredy
I like
cats.
That. Okay.
His name, Squaredy cats. And he designed a Dr. Nine Deaths.
That's Squaredy so cat. Cute because it's a cat.
I don't know that I remember to send you an image of that. I wish I had.
No, that's awesome.
It is so cute. So they're going to be there, and he's just got some really great stuff. And then another vendor, Mythological Mayhem. He's a guy who makes collectible patches.
Oh, okay.
And he's making me a patch actually with this image on it. That's me and Dr. Death.
Oh, okay.
Someone had posted in one of the Facebook Doctor or Puppet Master groups that I'm a comic artist and I'm doing some Puppet Master art. And I kind of offhandedly commented and said, oh, I showed him a screenshot from Dr. Death. And I said, can you do me and Dr. Death? So he did this really great artwork of that, because it turns out he's a professional comic artist. And it turns out what he was making was sketch cards for the 35th anniversary Puppet Master commemorative trading card set that is coming out from Full Moon Features. So this is going to be one of the sketch cards included with that.
How cool is that?
It's extremely cool.
That is awesome.
It's very cool.
We can't talk about art and artists without once again plugging 25 years of Johnny Necro.
Yes.
I love Johnny's artwork, and I love that it is so funny, and it's so the jokes are hilarious. There's a lot of puns in there. So I'm not going to throw up. I say that every week. I'm going to throw up Johnny's link. No, I'm not going to. But there, so you can.
Nobody would have thought anything if you hadn't pointed it out that you were
I
saying.
always think that as soon as I say it, and then I'm like, no.
I
but
totally understand. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you
and
can get.
I agree. I totally recommend this. It has the Drogue Nation stamp of badass 100% certified approval. So check it
Awesome.
out. Check it out.
Please, please, please. I was looking at some of the other things that you sent me because I wasn't sure. There's Vic Effects we were going to talk about.
We definitely Vic Effects. Vic Effects is several of us who worked on Evil Lurks. Chris Shern primarily, who was one of the co-directors of Evil Lurks. This is his project. And it's did you see, did I send you the trailer, the teaser for it?
Not for Vic Effects.
Okay. God, I should have, because
You sent me a
it's hard.
Blockbuster commercial.
Yeah. Here, have this instead. I should be sending you Vic Effects, but how about the fact I was in a Blockbuster commercial?
Well, that's okay. Maybe if you send it to me, we can tack it onto this after the fact.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
Cool.
Because it really is going to be incredible. And Chris Shern recently he did a little like teaser interview where he talks about how, okay, the movie is about a Foley artist being the person who creates sound effects for a movie.
Yes.
I play a notorious horror movie director like maybe David Cronenberg or Wes Craven, somebody who's, and known for the creepy sound effects in my films. And I have this guy who's my wizard, my sound effects wizard. He passes away, and I come to this woman whose name is Victoria, which is where Vic comes from.
Okay.
And say, I've seen your work, and I like what you do, and I would like you to come and finish this movie that we started. And she does. So the movie then she makes several movies. You see several movies that she is working on. So Chris had the chance to do like every genre of horror. They're not all the same. So
No.
like one's a creature feature, one's a psychological horror, one's a folk
like
folk
slasher.
tale horror. It's like everything. It runs the gamut. And so he did a little teaser promo about that. I will definitely send that to you, because it just makes, I don't know how anybody could watch that and not say, ooh, I want to be part of what's going on with that film.
That is awesome. And I've always been fascinated with Foley artists. I remember going into Disney, and they used to have a little show where they would show you the different things that the Foley artists used to make the different sounds when I was little. And I remember when the Black Cauldron came out, and they had all the skeletons that came back to life, and they told us that they made the noise of the bones rising by putting macaroni into latex gloves and squishing it. And I thought, how many things did you try before you came up with macaroni and latex gloves?
Isn't it amazing? It's so funny. And part of this promo teaser, actually, Amanda Winston, who plays Vic in the movie, talks about that, about crunching celery to be a breaking bone, or exploring that, how you find all these things. That's basically when I invite her to come and be part of this film, I show her like a box of junk that had belonged to this guy, and I say, use this. It looks like junk.
Right.
I said, use this stuff and create these effects.
Yep. They get an
But there's
egg
a
beater
point
in a
where
pot.
what's going on in the movie she's making starts to come into her real life. That's the essence of the movie, where it kind of crosses over into the horror she's working with on film starts to become reality for her.
Okay, I was wondering where I figured it wasn't just a special effects show. There was more to the plot. Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So you are also going to be in New Jersey, February 1st, for something that sounds extremely interesting. It is called Groundhogzilla. It's in Sayreville.
Oh no! It's called Godzilla!
In Sayreville, New Jersey, which also happens to be the home of Bon Jovi. I'm a Jersey girl. I got to give them a shout
Right?
out. But
And he will be there. He's coming. He'll be there. So you should buy your tickets now.
to
Unless there's a
Groundhogzilla,
last minute cancellation, which we have no control over. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure Bon Jovi's going to be there.
he's going to just stop on by. And if he sees his shadow,
Yes.
6
we
more
get,
weeks of horror movies.
Something. Yeah, there we go. 6 more weeks of horror movies. No, and that's actually that's being put on by a group called I Heart Horror. And this is a charity event. They're raising money for a breast cancer center. So most of us we're donating our time. And actually, I believe now it's not just me that's going out there, but my partner Rob Whitcraft. We do the Madman and the Rogue Instagram show that we recently started doing. We're going to be going out there together, so we're going to be doing it. We're going to start kind of like touring the country.
I love that. So
as
is
Madman
this like
and the Rogue? Yeah, we have plans, and we've had people reach out and say, we want you guys to maybe do such and such with us. So nothing that I can talk about yet, but
I
it's
love
like,
top secret stuff.
yeah,
Nice.
if you play your cards right, I'll tell you, but you gotta,
Yes. Shh, I can't.
right.
Mhm, definitely. So is this a con where
Pinky
you will be
swear.
up like, of course, like DeRogue Dr. Death, or is this
Oh,
you're
I
going
probably
as Bill,
will.
or
My understanding it's kind of like a mini con or a market, I think.
okay?
And they can correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't done this event before. They just invited me to. They said, if you happen to be out here, and I said, I won't happen to be out there, but I will make myself
I
happen
don't
to be
trip
out
and
there
land in
because
Sayreville, New
I like you
Jersey.
guys. I bought myself a vendor table at the New Jersey Horror Convention in April, and by that I mean I wasn't in the room with the celebrities.
Gotcha.
I was in the room with people who are selling merch, um, which is interesting because there were some people who came that because they know me on social media, they knew I was going to be there. Just as many people just happened to be walking by and would go, "Oh my God, you're in a Puppet Master movie? We never see Puppet Master actors." And I know, yeah, that's what I keep telling the conventions, and they haven't got it through their heads yet.
Yeah, well, it sounds like there's enough people that are interested. They should start sending you to
Right.
places.
Well, that's what we're working on.
Yeah.
But just the group of people I met there, that community that's part of the New Jersey Horror Expo,
Yes.
just a class act bunch of people. The I Heart Horror folk and everybody else.
That is
2
awesome.
vampires in New Jersey were there. God, I'm trying to think. I'm blanking on names. I was trying to think of maybe people you might know.
There's always so many people. Like I've been to the Monster Mania Con in Jersey before, and like Jersey seems to be a good hub for things like this, and they
That's what
always draw.
and that was a big reason why when I saw they posted something on Instagram saying vendor tables are available, I think it was like $175 for the weekend.
Wow.
And I thought, I bet I could afford $175. Would it be worth it to take myself out there for the promotion? It was, but that was why that attracted me is I know there's a strong community in the New Jersey area.
Yes.
For horror. So I was like, I want to plug into that.
Definitely. That is awesome. Well, you have to let me know if you're doing it again next year, and I will bring you food. We own a deli.
I have a feeling I'll be going back out that way pretty regularly.
Awesome. Yeah, well, you'll have to let me know so I can come say hi.
I will.
That would be fantastic. And I'm going to see what's going on in February if I can go to Groundhogzilla. I definitely will, just because it's called Groundhogzilla. Like, that's just hilarious.
I don't know if they will have a Groundhogzilla. They should.
They have to.
And if they don't, I am more than happy to be.
I was going to say I will make one and bring it in case there is not one.
Exactly. We'll make sure there is an actual Groundhogzilla.
Yes, definitely. So that is awesome. We have movies people can check out. Is there anything else that you can say, like go to Tubi and see, or you can screen?
Well, let's see. We talked about Evil Lurks is on Tubi.
Yes.
You're Out is on Tubi and Amazon Prime,
Oh,
right?
yes, the one that you sent me on YouTube. They came from
YouTube is They Came From Somewhere.
yeah,
That's right now. That's only available on YouTube. Um,
that was
it was
great.
streaming, and something's going on where right now they were exclusively showing it on YouTube, but only for a limited amount of time. But it's They Came From Somewhere. It's a sequel to a film that we did with a Cross Star Films that was a parody of Plan 9 from Outer Space. So it's
Yes,
that kind of bad B movie. Um, there's all sorts of continuity errors, but we leave them in because we don't do more than one take of anything. So we're kind of spoofing that, and I get to play the supreme leader of the
yes.
aliens, which is like a dream role for
It
me.
was, you
Uh,
were
did,
so good in that role, and that
you
was my
did see it?
introduction to you.
I
That was the
had
first thing I saw of yours.
was it um, long before the film, I had ordered a walking stick from Temu of all places because I thought that would be from doing years of sketch comedy where you're creating characters on stage and multiple characters and you just sort of do quick costuming things.
Right.
So I like props. I props and wigs. I have a wig collection you wouldn't believe. That's
Oh,
one of the
wow.
advantages of being bald. I can change characters just by switching wigs.
That is
Um,
awesome.
so I thought I think a walking stick would be a good affectation for a character to have. So I ordered this one that was like this sort of ornate jeweled head, but it's obviously cheap.
Yes.
Um, so I had this thing, and when they said, we want you to play this role, I thought, well, couldn't a leader maybe have like a scepter that they have with them? So I brought it with me, and I said, can I do this?" And Ashley Hefner was kind of like, the director. She was like, "Well, okay, try
That's
it,
because I love
sure."
when you like slam it down.
So yeah, so it to me it really became like yeah. I pound it for emphasis, and there are times where I intentionally try to angle it so it looks phallic.
That's hilarious.
And there's one time I was hoping we'd do a blooper reel. I pounded it really hard on my toe.
Ow.
And I was wearing leather boots, so it really didn't make a sound. It was like
Right.
sort of,
Funk.
but oh, it hurt.
Wow. That's
And then
on.
and then we I told Ann Myrna, who is in the movie, she plays one of the primary leads, and she's also a producer for Cross Star, and just started directing for them as well. Now I got to remember where I was going with that story.
Stick
Where
to
was
the
I?
toe.
Where was I headed with that?
You got a
With
stick in your
Ann.
toe and blooper reel. And
Yeah.
was she there when you poked yourself in the toe?
I one of the things we were doing when we finished shooting, we signed the cast signed different items like
Okay.
the ray guns. We
They
signed
were
those,
so fun.
and then we make those available. I loved Anne is who I vaporize with my laser
Yes.
gun, and she just turns into a skeleton.
That was so funny because the skeletons are like so like Dollar Tree skeletons, and that's
Oh,
what makes it so
absolutely.
great. Like the
And
amount of
you
places they
just
would
cut and I do the laser and freezes, and then we just wait for Anne to get out of the frame, and we all freeze, and they bring in the skeleton, and then we just start, and the camera's rolling the whole time, so that
Yep.
when they edit, they just go.
It was so fun. I loved it. It was so.
And I don't know if you caught this. It's a ray gun, but after I shoot her, I
Yes.
still blow on the barrel of it like it's a 6-shooter. Because to me, it's like you shoot somebody, you've
You
got to
gotta
blow on the
exactly.
gun. It's part of the trope.
That was so. I love that movie. I was cracking up, and then
I'm
I
glad you
wound up.
enjoyed it. I really like it a lot, and I have that available on DVDs because of the aspect ratio. It's not available on Blu-ray, but we do have it on DVD.
Okay, yeah, that would be
And
great.
again, I have copies because I'm a whore.
I was gonna say there's all the social media underneath us,
Yeah,
so
hit
reach
me
out
up.
to get your
Get
signed
at me.
DVD. That's so awesome. I love it.
or whatever they're saying now. I don't know.
I don't either. We say the stuff our generation says. We don't keep up with them.
Right, exactly.
That is awesome. Well, I am so glad that I got to meet you and talk to you and that the power stayed
I'm
on
glad
this time.
too.
It was so fun. And definitely keep me in the loop of what you are up to, what I can promote for you, because I love doing that on
Absolutely.
my social media as well. And don't forget to go catch Bill in Gardena, California for at the Gardena Cinema on November 2nd. And you said it's turning into like kind of a little convention. So will you be there before and after the show to meet people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're like I was saying earlier. Vendors are going to be there. People who are known in the Southern California horror community. Raven Tremblay, for example. My friend is going to be there. I don't know what I'm at liberty to say yet. Harry Hamlin might come by and hawk his spaghetti sauce. Seriously, Rob and I met him at Days of the Dead in November, and it was just like a weird. I'll tell the story.
Okay, awesome.
Do I have time?
Of course, please.
Okay.
Yes.
We're in the lobby Friday night, and Rob and I are, and this guy came up and was standing next to me. He said, "Oh, I see the little gift shop is closed." Because that's too bad. I was hoping to get a bag of nuts. And I said, "I'll break in there for you and get you some nuts." I said, if you go to the desk and just distract people, I'll break in there. And he kind of looks at me like, and he knows he must have figured out, but he didn't know for sure at first. Like, was I serious? And he goes, "Well, maybe they have them at the desk." So he walks away and Rob goes, "You know who that was?" And I said, "No," because that was Harry Hamlin. So I said, "Oh, well, we have to bring him nuts tomorrow."
Yes.
So we brought him, we went into the gift shop in the morning and got a bag of nuts and took him to him where he's set up in his signing booth at the convention. And he took a picture with us. And then recently he came out with this sauce thing. And so we posted a couple of the photos that we had taken with him at the convention and included the photos of his sauce and kind of did as a little promo. So he called Rob this morning, evidently, and said,
"Oh, wow."
He said, "Refresh my memory. How do I know you guys?"
Well, the story is
and
really
Rob
nuts.
told him this. Rob told him this. He goes, "Oh, yes, I remember you guys." And he said, "I might." He said, "If Lisa and I aren't busy that night, yeah, we'll come by." So.
Oh, that is so funny.
That
would be so cool, and I love the random way that all came together. Like, it's
right.
nuts.
Well, did you see the footage of Dr. Death at the flashback weekend where I'm talking to different people? Oh, I'll send you that as well.
Okay.
Dr. Death had interactions with Adrienne Barbeau, Michael Gross, and Keith David, the actor Keith David.
Okay.
Adrienne Barbeau, I told her I loved her in Carrie.
No.
And she looked stunned for a moment before she said, "I wasn't in Carrie." And Dr. Death, "You weren't? Well, what were you in?" This is Dr. Death. "I just wanted to say, I loved you in Carrie." And I'm in that whole Dr. Death outfit, mind you. It's not just me saying it.
Right.
I wasn't in Carrie. And people are cracking up. And then Michael Gross and I have a nice little exchange. And we had come by Keith David's table and Keith wasn't there, but his person was. And so we did this whole pretend that's Keith David. "Oh, Keith David, we're so happy to meet you." And it was like a woman in her 20s, totally, definitely not Keith David. But she played along, God bless her. And I said, people probably do this all the time. She goes, "Yeah."
Yep.
So
I'm sure.
we're walking on by, and again, I'm Dr. Death. I'm dressed as Dr. Death, and we see Keith down the other side of the room, and so we said, "Oh, well, let's go walk by him." So my plan is, I'm going to stroll nonchalantly as Dr. Death past Mr. David, and as I'm passing him, I'll stop and I'll say something. Before I could get to him, he steps out from where he is and starts waving at us and going, I want to take a picture. I want to take a picture." And he pulls out his phone and he's taking pictures. And I'm like, no, we want to take pictures of you.
That's
And
great.
he like took several. And I was like, okay. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we had a lot of fun with it. But I did that to try to show people what I can do with this character. It's not just a cosplay. I'm not just walking around with a Dr. Death outfit on.
You're
And
becoming Dr.
cosplayers
Death.
are wonderful, wonderful people. But I'm doing something a little more than that. I'm bringing my performer aspect to it as well. So that's why we went to Flashback. I said, let's make a little video, or I'll just mess with people, and we'll make a little promo video where hopefully it will be appealing to horror conventions, or even Dr. Death is available to host parties and events. Yeah, yeah. Dr. Death can administer Jello shots with party syringes
Oh, now that's fun.
at
Because
your
I was
at
going
your
to say
Halloween party.
you can go
So
to events as Dr. Death. You are for hire as Dr. Death.
yes, the Rogue
And
Doctor
the
Death.
rogue
That's the point. The Rogue Doctor Death and the Rogue Santa, both are available for
look
parties and
now for this holiday
appearances.
season, because
Damn right. And like I said, we'll be out in LA for that. Well, that's going to be the Day of the Dead weekend, as it's known, right after Halloween.
correct. Yeah, that's
So we'll be out there for the. Actually, we're going to be en route. We're leaving because we're driving out there, and we're going to record everything. We're going to make a little documentary of this as well.
documentary.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, Sydney, thank you.
You're welcome.
I
That's what
hadn't
I'm here
thought
for.
of that. Holy, thank you.
You're
Yes, a
welcome.
documentary.
That's
and,
awesome.
and then I'd like to say this, if we're promoting things, we could use some financial assistance getting there. So we're going to put together a little thing. We're going to offer perks. We're going to have special T-shirts printed up for this event, for the trip that we're
Nice.
making, the road trip and the documentary. And if we're considering putting it on, making it available on disc. So if people want to contribute to us, we're going to set them up with some great perks, and we'll do a live shout out during the show. We'll call them on Instagram during the show and talk to them,
Cool. Okay.
whatever. So we're putting that out there. So we should have that ready and posted. Well, by the time you're seeing this,
I was going to say, by the time this comes out, well, I call it mind to mouth disease. Like, I think of something and I have to say it. So you're doing special perks for this road trip out there, right?
Correct.
You should call it On the Rogue Again. And then you can have.
Why don't you just come with us? Why don't you come with us?
That would be amazing. Are you kidding me?
Okay, that's two brilliant ideas. There's a rule of three. You got to give me a third brilliant idea.
Right. As soon as I think
a documentary on the Rogue Again.
Yes. And you've mentioned this Instagram show a couple times. Let everybody know where they can catch the show. Like
Madman and the Rogue. It's Rob and I are just we're goofballs, and we both have years of experience as like entertainers or performers. So we bring that to what we're doing. But we've had some great guests. William Perry from Nightmare on Elm Street was on not long ago. And he's an author. He's got a book out called By His Hand. Plug, ching, ching. By His Hand, William R. Perry. It is a mind fuck. I highly recommend it. It's a short read. It's only like 40 some pages. Get it on Amazon Kindle. By His Hand, William Perry. You think, a horror story that's really going to mess me up. It's going to be this. You have no idea. You don't know. He structures it so that it's like you experience what this person is going through.
Okay.
In a very it strikes home. And there are acts that are so horrific because of the personal nature of them. I don't know. I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
But I was like, wow. And hopefully he said he's writing it as a screenplay now, which is challenging. Like he was saying, and this says something about the story. so much of it is the narration that the screenplay. It's not like you can just take the story and take the dialogue and the action and write it out in screenplay format. You really have to kind of change the story somewhat to accommodate the fact that it's a visual medium instead of the written one. But so
Right.
hopefully it'll be a film that's, and if it does, it's going to be amazing because it's unlike anything else. It's like David Cronenberg and something else. I don't know, but it's sort of that. It's body horror, but a psychological mindfuck at the same time.
That sounds really
By
amazing.
his hand, William R. Perry. Look it up on Amazon.
I wrote it down.
I
because
don't. I get
don't
nothing
write things
for it.
down.
Right.
So, but does your show come out at the same time every week?
Oh, well, thank you. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. Either on if you sign into my account, Bill X Russell, or Rob is Radio Wastelands. All one word, Radio Wastelands, and you'll see the live bug. So you come and watch if you wanna pop in. We're real good at just send us a request to join. We're like, if you want to drop in, we don't care. We've had some great people just totally unplanned, and they happen to be watching, and we said, come on.
That is awesome.
So it's that kind of just loose. Rob said, he said, we haven't talked in a while. He said, let's talk to each other real soon, but why don't you want to do it on Instagram and we'll do it as a live instead of just calling each other? And I said, yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do that. And I said, why don't we just do that every week? So that's how it started. It was just us saying, we're just going to shoot the shit.
Yeah. And then
and if somebody else likes it, fine. And people seem to like it. So.
That is awesome. Unfortunately, it's on the same time as my podcast.
So, right? So I'm so sorry that you're going to have to cancel your podcast.
Well, I was going to say I'm going to have a couple pre-recorded ones. So those nights I'm going to pop in on yours. And
it's always available on the Radio Wastelands. And we're in the because we've only been doing this a couple months. And like I said, we didn't say, oh, let's create a podcast. It just sort of, it happened.
Well, it stinks sometimes that technology doesn't want to cooperate with us, but I want to thank Bill D. Russell one more time for coming on and talking with me. He is a delight. Please, please, please make sure that you follow him on all of his social media. Check out his Instagram show. Go to Gardena, California, and meet him November 2nd. Meet him February 1st in Sayreville, New Jersey. And make sure you go to his Linktree and click on the OnlyFans. I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. Also, while we are clicking on Linktrees, make sure you click on Johnny's to get your copy of Johnny Necro, Frozen Dead comics. They are amazing. You will love them. So definitely check that out. That also has all of Johnny's social media that you can follow him on. And while you're at it, click on my Linktree too. That'll take you to my website where you can get a copy of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, How a Preacher's Daughter Pole Danced Her Way to Finding Her True Self. That will also link you up to my podcast and my social media, because when we all help each other out, it is what makes everything amazing, because when the tide comes in, all ships rise. Have a great day, guys, and thanks for watching.